Hi, hello, how are you? Look, I know it's been a long time. You know what? Let's just not talk about it. God, I'm like that dad that went out to get milk and then never showed up again. Hi, I'm back and today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I outsourced a bunch of questions from my Instagram for this video and I'm going to be answering them today. And I'll be honest, most of the questions are either how do I come out to my parents and how do I find a girlfriend. I actually don't know the answer to either of them, but let's do this anyway. I'm just going to be your agony aunt for the day, your gay agony aunt. Okay, first question. A asks, my parents say if I choose what I want, they might kill themselves. TBH, I don't care now. I'll still go with whatever I want, but I feel guilty. Am I really unworthy daughter if I choose me first? Well, that was really a strong place to start. Thank you for your question, A, and I really hope that you're okay. More than anything, I really hope your parents are okay. And I'm glad that you've come to a place of not really caring what they choose to blackmail and guilt you with. I've heard of a lot of Indian parents using this blackmail technique of I will kill myself. Indian parents seem to want to kill themselves for like the most common things, like, oh, you want to go abroad, I'll kill myself. You don't want to go abroad, I'll kill myself. You won't marry this guy that I picked for you, I'll
kill myself. You're not going to get a government job, I'll kill myself. You're not going to get a corporate job, I'll kill myself.
I think I've not heard of a lot of parent suicide cases as much as I've heard about children choosing to kill themselves. So I do feel it's fine that if we as a generation just decide to prioritize ourselves, and I don't think you're an unworthy daughter at all. I think as a society, we don't necessarily like it when a person takes a decision based on their own individualist preferences. But I think a little bit of that is perfectly fine. I hope you do whatever makes you happy, because in the end, you're going to have to live your life, not your parents. R asks, please suggest me a horror novel to buy. A asks, how to come out to your parents if you're not sure they're gonna be supportive. I don't think there's ever any way to know whether your parents are going to be supportive. Like, you can't, hold them accountable for it and be like, oh, you will be supportive. You signed it here, here, and here on my birth certificate. I think you just have to sort of come out to them anyway. If you are old enough and maybe financially independent, or you're on your way to becoming financially independent and you can, assure your own physical safety. Maybe if you have like distant family or friends who support you. I think it really depends on your priorities. If your priorities are, your own well-being, your own long-term, emotional and mental health, then maybe it's a good idea to come out to your parents. And I do think that a lot of people have very enriching and wonderful lives, even if they don't have the most supportive parents. It can be difficult, especially when you come out to them and maybe when you have to face a bad reaction. But I truly believe that you can have a very long, happy, fulfilling life. So just remember that it'll be okay. Kay asks, after you started creating queer content online, has it made you feel safe or unsafe in public? Just a genuine question on how public eye views it. I think that it's definitely changed my experience of being in public, because occasionally some people might recognize me, but my assurance is that whoever recognizes me is usually also queer, so they're not going to try to cause harm to me. I've got to meet so many more queer people. I've got to meet them in like the most random places, and I've realized that there are a lot of queer people like in our cities, in our towns. We just don't know it. Kay asks, do you feel sad at the thought of a wedding? As for me, I do, because it's not legal yet. I think I've always really hated weddings because I knew from a very young age that I would never really be able to have a wedding, because I knew from a very young age that I was not going to marry a man. I'm one of those people that goes to a wedding and just like makes fun of the couple getting married, calls the guy ugly, calls the woman annoying. Like, I'm a horrible person. Like, I'm just so, fraught with like internal jealousy and sadness because I can never have this family approved moment of like marital romance and love that, my pettiness really comes out of me and I'm just like, yuck, oh my god, did you see what she was wearing? Oh my god, she really married him. Well, even now when I see other queer couples in India getting married and having the ceremony and everything, I just still don't think that could ever be me, because I think I've grown up hating weddings now. S asks, are girls when 10 interested in boobs with a Z, then later in life want to date boys but not like them sexually, feels romantic attraction to men, still get turned on by boobs Z? Maybe what you might be experiencing is like a hetero-romantic and homosexual attraction. So maybe you're romantically attracted to men and sexually attracted to women. As for your inclination towards boobs with a Z, I think it's understandable. I think 10 is a pretty young age to start looking at that, but I'm glad you got a head start. G asks, are you in your 30s yet? Do I look 30? No, I'm not. I'm youth. I'm young. I'm Gen Z. Do you know I'm Gen Z? I know my top isn't cropped, but still, I promise. Pinky promise. P asks, what do you do for a living? Definitely not this. A asks, how do you meet people who are like you? I think I have actually a very controversial opinion about this. So I've gone to like a lot of queer events and I've made friends, well, spoken to at least a lot of queer people, and it's always been like a really nice, pleasant conversation. But I still don't think that I've met people who are like me. There's a lot of permutations and combinations to fill in to like get someone who's like you. I find a lot in common even with like my heterosexual male friends. I think they're generally like really nice people and we do have a lot in common and we do enjoy each other's company. So I don't know, is this a queer problem? Is this just a human problem? Is this an introvert problem? I mean, either way, they are all my problems only because I don't really know how to find people who I like or who are like me. But how do you find the courage to come out to the people you know? Courage to come out to the people you know. Courage to the cowardly dog. For me, it wasn't a particularly brave thing that I came out to people. I really didn't see it getting any worse. Because if these are friends or maybe family that you're lying to on a daily basis, and your relationship with them makes you feel more bad than it makes you feel good, then is it really even worth it? And there's this really nice quote actually that really helped me with this question a lot. The people that mind don't matter, and the people that matter don't mind. So automatically, if someone is like not nice to you when you come out to them, that's probably a sign that they do not belong in your life. Did your family accept you? Yeah, pretty much, kind of. It's a very long story. I've actually made a YouTube video about it, coming out to my parents. But like 6 years after coming out to them, I do feel like I'm in a good place about it. I always had this attitude of whether my parents accept me or not, whatever they say, whatever they do, I am going to be myself. I do think that my parents understood that I was coming from a place where I was not going to change, I was not going to have second thoughts, I was not going to, care about social opinion and their opinion so much that I would start lying and faking it and all of that. So I do think as the years went by, it sort of felt maybe a little more palatable for them. He asks, where do I find mask women to date? A fellow Desi queer. Why don't you try looking for them in the comments? Because I don't have any other answer to this. Dating apps, clearly, I'm sure you've tried them. You don't like them. All the mask women who are watching this video, just leave a comment saying, hi, I'm available. And let's see if T picks one of you. It can be like a cool little game we play on our videos from now on. R asks, how to get a girl because I am very lonely. I'm sorry that you are lonely. So I have another very boring, sad, uncle-like answer to this. I know all of you would rather have like some, quick and practical answer, like there's a showroom on that gully right next to that bakery shop and you'll find some good girls there. No, I do think that if you're lonely before a relationship or if you're unhappy before a relationship, I think you're going to be lonely and unhappy even after the relationship, usually. There's a lot of nice online spaces to try out, and I know that online doesn't work very well, But you realize it doesn't have to work very well. They just have to work once, if you are monogamous, or twice or thrice. Because if once also they work well, you have it, you have your person. Good for you. Enjoy. Don't be lonely. Be happy. P asks how to connect with fellow queers online other than dating apps. There's this app called As You Are, which is like a dating and friendship kind of app. And also there's another app, very cool, called firstcontact.lgbt. So they are a metaverse but for queer and Desi people. If not, my regular solution is just find someone in the comments. How did you realize you were queer and what was your reaction? I think that my reaction was actually one of relief. I was so happy to realize that there were other people who felt the same way, and I was so happy to realize that there was like a name and a category for people who looked like me and expressed themselves like me and were attracted to other people the way that I was. And then immediately followed by the relief, there was a lot of fear because I was really worried on how I was gonna tell other people, like my friends and my family, about this now. Which asks, as a Desi queer myself, I wanna ask, what's your queer Desi flex? My queer Desi flex is that I can play the tabla. I think that's a flex because it's kind of mask and it's very finger skills, and it's just generally very gay. I think women playing the tabla is just very gay. What's your queer Desi flex? I'd love to know. Leave your answer in the comments. N asks, how do you tell if the person is gay or not before asking them out? I'm also gay, but I never know how to tell. There is absolutely no way to tell if someone is gay or not unless you ask them and unless they give you an honest answer. And once again, I know this is a very sad uncle-like answer and you'd like something juicier, so here goes. Why don't you ask them if they watched certain movies or read certain books? Slowly lure them into like a queer conversation and just judge how much they know about it, how their expressions are, If they're uncomfortable with the conversation, or maybe if they don't know anything, or maybe if they don't care, they might not be gay. If they seem interested in that conversation or a little nervous and excited about it, then maybe they are gay. S asks, hello, I'm 20 and lesbian. I'm afraid I won't find love if I start dating late, 25 plus. Do you think it's okay to wait? I want to wait because my upbringing has been tumultuous. Is that how you pronounce that word? Tumultuous? And I want to focus on myself. Well, S, I think that this is a great resolution to have. I think it's very important to focus on yourself instead of just pushing yourself into a relationship or just running into a relationship, because your personal issues can severely affect the relationship and make it very, very unsuccessful. Take it from me, who has been in many unsuccessful relationships in the past. Don't think that there's any age or time where it is late to have started dating. I think that it'll ensure that your future relationships probably have a higher likelihood of succeeding because you've actually worked on yourself. R asks, what's your best pickup line? My best pickup line is absolutely hideous and you're about to listen to it, so get ready. It's in Kannada, by the way, so a lot of you might not understand it. Hey flowers, birthday doubles. Thank you for watching this video. I have a lot more questions and I'm going to answer the rest of them in a part 2. And yes, thank you for being here once again. I promise I will be back soon. Bye!